G'day, it's Mike here for another episode of We Belong. Still doing it through the video, still online, just for a little while longer. But soon we will be back together, which will be fantastic. Now, we've been asking a question. Can you remember the question? The question is, what is a Christian? And we've thought about all sorts of books that could possibly help us, but are helpful for other things. So we saw that we had books before about cooking, books about kangaroos and Australia, books about all sorts of animals. But the one book that's going to help us for our question, what is a Christian? We have the Bible. The Bible is the book that's going to help us out. And do you remember what we've been saying that the Bible is all about? We've been saying the Bible is all about how much God and Jesus love us. Do you remember that with the actions? The Bible is all about how much God and Jesus love us. Oh, what a good thing that the Bible's about. But that's going to help us figure out what is a Christian. So we're going to use the Bible to help us find out the answer to that. So a little bit later we'll continue on our story, which is from the Bible. And that will help us to think through what is a Christian. But for now, I want to remind us of what we were saying last time. So we were saying that a Christian is someone who is friends with Jesus. And we were asking the question, is Jesus a good friend to have or a bad friend to have? And I think what I conclude at the end of that is that Jesus is a good friend. Jesus is a great friend. Jesus is the best friend anyone could possibly have, because Jesus died on the cross for his friends. Now that is wonderful news. That is good news. And that helps us to know what kind of friend Jesus is. You know, he's not a mean friend who can be unkind or say mean things or take our items, our stuff. But he is the kind of friend who loves us and gives us things, even giving up his own life on the cross. How good is that? What a wonderful friend Jesus is. Well, now we're going to get to the bit from the Bible. We've been thinking about a story about a certain man. Let me start acting it out and we'll see if we can remember. So we've got a certain man who was a fisherman. Do you remember this fisherman's name? His name was Peter. So Peter was a fisherman. That's what he did for work. You might do all sorts of things for work. Maybe you work in a cafe or in a restaurant or whatever else you do for work. This is what Peter did for work. He caught fish, supplied that to restaurants and cafes so that they could feed people fish. So Peter and his brother Andrew were both fishermen. And they go out fishing, catching fish, bring those in. How good's that? And one day they were standing out fishing, reeling in fish, hard at work. And Jesus came along and he said, "Follow me." Now that's where we got up to last week. And the question was, what do you think Peter and Andrew did? Did they instantly drop all their fishing gear and go, okay, we're going to come follow Jesus? Or are they going to say, well, you know, I clock off at 12, you have to wait till then? What they do? Well, what they did is that they threw everything down and they said, okay. And they followed Jesus straight away. And I think that's an excellent choice. That's a great choice to make. Because Jesus is the one who dies on the cross for his friends. So becoming a Christian, choosing to follow Jesus, is a good choice because Jesus is such a good friend to have. So we're going to continue this story on in the next time, which is a little while from this next meeting. We've got a bit of a gap in the calendar, but we'll see you when we're next rostered on. And until then, have a good time, and I hope to see you at the Zoom meeting on Friday night.